Okay, so good evening, Miss Natania. So today, my friend Pravina and I will be interviewing you for our assignment 2. We are supposed to interview a person who was raised bilingually. So you told us that you were also raised bilingually. So can you introduce yourself first and you tell us which are the two languages you use often?
Good evening, Miss Renisa and Miss Ravina. My name is Natanya Grace Mahadevan, and I am 23 years old this year. I'm from Seremban, and currently I'm doing my bachelor's degree in software engineering in University Malaysia Pahang. The two languages that I was raised with was English and Tamil.
Okay, so I'll start off with the first question. So,
Yeah.
how did you first get engaged with the both languages? Like, how did you first start speaking? Like through speaking, reading, writing, or listening?
So for English, it was since like I was born and since I was young, I understand the language very well, as well as Tamil because my mom and dad they both converse in both languages at home. So since we were young, I could understand Tamil very well, but I could only speak like few phrases at first. But English was my main method of communication. So as I aged, then I started to speak Tamil as well. So
Great. Let's move on to second question. Is it difficult for you to switch languages when it is necessary?
at first, when I was younger, yes, it was difficult. But now, and when I started my teenage years and when I was in primary school, I think it was very natural for me to switch between languages. It wasn't difficult at all.
Okay, so which language did you use the most to communicate? Because you have a larger vocabulary, so you speak two languages. So obviously you have a larger vocabulary. So which one you use the most to communicate?
I will say English because English is something that we learn in school as well as home. So I have better vocabulary and also better understanding of that language.
Okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being bilingual in your opinion?
Advantages is that you can is because you can communicate in two languages. You can understand both languages, and it's for sure it's an advantage, especially if let's say you're in a working field, you want to communicate with people, you're engaging with people. I think it's so easy to like. Is some people they don't understand English and some people they don't understand Tamil. So if I want to speak to a person who doesn't understand Tamil, I just have to use that English, and it's been easy because I don't have to learn that language because I've been raised bilingually. And if I want to communicate in Tamil, it's also easy with a person who doesn't understand English. It's because I've been raised bilingually. I don't have to learn much in order to communicate and have engage in a conversation, a normal conversation with the person. So that's the advantage of being bilingual. The disadvantage is because it will be like you will tend to actually prioritize one language more than the other. Like most, some of us who are raised bilingually, we focus on the language where our main focus is. So as for me, like I prioritize English mostly. Uh, you read, write, listen, and then study English better than Tamil. I don't even delve into literature in Tamil much. I just use it to as a means of communication and just communication. But in English, I write in English, I read in English, no, I study in English. So I guess that is the disadvantages of it because you tend to prioritize one language more than the other. So and the other is just like a backup thing. So it's like it's a disadvantage in my opinion.
Okay, so you're saying that obviously English predominates Tamil. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the fifth question will be, how does being bilingual affect the development of your language skills?
I think as far I'm 23 now, as far as I've been bilingual, um, actually it helps me in ways like, let's say I'm listening to a news in Tamil. I get to understand more, and even if there are words that I do not really understand, since when they speak in news, they use very like intricate and complicated language Tamil. So I tend to develop. I'll find out how what the word means. I'll ask somebody, or I will like check in Google, and then that's how like that language helps me develop. And English as well. English, when you read more and you write more and you listen more, you get to know new words that you never knew before. Like, and you get to add to your vocabulary. New words that people don't use a lot, so that's actually a fun part. And then like I took a language course in university in Japanese. So because I was bilingual, I like I could adapt to a new language learning. I could adapt to it. I could learn it easily. So it helped, actually being bilingual actually helped me to adapt to a different language learning.
Great. Sixth question. When it comes to communication in your life or daily routine, any different as a bilingual?
Uh, if let's say about daily routine, I don't think so. It's any different. I mean, I'm like a normal student who wakes up in the morning, brushes my teeth, and then eat breakfast, go to class, comes back from class, and like it's like normal for us. Like I don't think so. There's any difference because I think than other Malaysians who only raised in one language. I mean, like part of routine is the same. It's just that the language that we speak is kind of different.
Okay, so are you confused by the differences between the two languages? Because sometimes when you need to comprehend a term in one language to another, so do you actually find it difficult?
When I was younger, yes, but now, no, not at all. Because I understand that English is very direct. So when you speak to people, like it's a very direct language. It doesn't goes around. But Tamil, I will say it's a very beautiful, flowery language. It's not at all direct. So it's a type of language that speaks in circles. So when you see English poetry, it's very direct. So they're speaking about the eyes, and it's even if they try to go around in circles, it seems very direct. You can understand it in just one glance. But for Tamil, they speak more according to, like, if you see Tamil poetry, they speak more according to, like, they enhance so much of nature about people. In Tamil, they have proverbs that speaks in a very complicated manner, and then you wouldn't know when you read it, you wouldn't know the meaning of it, but when you actually understand, when you're given the meaning of it, oh, so this means that. So I don't find it very confusing to comprehend the terms. Let's say certain words, so I don't find it confusing at all.
Okay, our last question. Can you switch languages effortlessly? Do the people you are interacting with feel as comfortable?
So far, I've never met anyone who was uncomfortable between my language switching, because I do that a lot. Um, they, I mean, they adapt to it. Like, they just know that I am bilingual, and then they understand. They're used to it. If let's say it's a normal conversation with a friend, if I change between Tamil and English, I think they just accept it. I've never met anyone who's uncomfortable with my language change. Most of them, like, they are just normal and comfortable with my language change.
Okay, so Miss Nathania, I think that's the end of our interview today. So thank you for lending us your time for this interview.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for calling me for this interview.